Hola everyone, I'm Bastian Alexander. In my last video, I talked about the mission statement. Why it is important to have a mission statement? Because it's almost the captain on your boat, and boat being your life, and the captain as determining the direction you're gonna go. Having a clear mission statement has several benefits. One of it is knowing where to go. Know who you are, your life purpose, and the direction you want to go. And it's almost like the foundation of the goals that we're going to set later. Today in this video, I would like to dive a little bit deeper into the mission statement and make it broader and look at your values. So as some of you might know by now, I moved in 2011 from Holland to Central America with my wife Debbie. We've been living here ever since full time, and what I did before was organize tours in Nicaragua. We went all over the country, but there was always one part that was my favorite. I also explained in another video about Manos Unidas. It's a co-op program that I started for people with disabilities. And almost every tour, I always loved to take the group to Manos Unidas. And it was always the highlight of the tour for me. I love talking about it, sharing my experiences, like how we got to that point, and just to share that experience that I have in Nicaragua, in Central America. It was also the point where it didn't feel like work at all. For me, it was just something that even if I would won the lottery, if I would be a millionaire, I still wanted to be and in that moment, in that place. So for me, it was very clear that being there was for me like living purposefully. I didn't want to be anywhere else. This was what I wanted to do. So that was also part of my mission statement. But as I want to go in deeper right now, it also touched more of my values, my core values that that just make me happy and make me balanced and a peace of mind. So I was at Manos Unidas with my tour group. Manos Unidas, the co-op for people with disabilities. And I felt I was in my place. I was supposed to be there. Even if I would won the lottery, if I never had to work a day in my life, I still wanted to be there with the tour group at Manos Unidas. So that was when I knew that I was living according to my mission statement. But also I was touching the other core values. But how do you find your core values? It's something that is an ongoing process. So don't expect to just sit down and take 5 minutes to write them down, but like go through your day and just be conscious about it. What do you find important? When you're in a situation and you're like, this is something that I'm important, just take notes. So it's an ongoing process. But you have to start somewhere, right? So what you do is like you just sit down with a big piece of paper and you just start writing down terms, values. What is really important to you? Is it honesty? Is it loyalty? Is it freedom? Is it helping others? What is really important to you? Those are just examples. But just like words like that, just what is popping into your mind, and just write them all down without even thinking about it. Just the more the better. Write down what you find important. And then once you have like already a good list of values, then go back in time. Go back to a moment like I was with the tour group at Manos Unidas. What was a moment for you like that? And then analyze that situation. Who were there? What were you doing? Why was it that important to you to be in that moment? Why was it emotionally so profound to be there and doing what you did at that time? Those little things help you to determine which are your values. So also put those down on that piece of paper. And then once you have like that big list of values, then it's time to organize them. Are there patterns in those values? Certain terms that you can collect together, or is it in a certain area, or what is a pattern in all those terms that you found? And once you have that, then it's time to circle 3 values, 3 terms that you're like, okay, these are my core values. I will never betray them. I will always act according to those 3 things. Those 3 things are the most important to me. And then if you have that, that means you got your core values. But it doesn't end there. So what happens is that like once you got those 3 core values, then it's time to specify them. So what does that mean? Like mostly like with honesty or loyalty, like those are broad concepts. What does that mean to you? In what sense is it a core value to you? Like what are your actions, or what is, just specify those values into what they mean to you. Okay, so then you got your 3 core values and you specify them so you know exactly what they mean to you. And then imagine, I mentioned it earlier, being in a quarter life crisis, being stuck in life in general, not knowing where to go, not being able to make big decisions. And think about it. Once you know your 3 core values, it will be easier to determine if you're on the right life path, or if you need to make a change, which can be scary, and it always will be scary to make big changes in your life. But out of my own experience, I can say it's so much easier to make a decision, big decision, with 100% certainty once you know your core values. There's one more thing that I want to mention about the values, is that we all come from, like, we're from a country. I'm from Holland. We grew up in a community. We had several caretakers, maybe your parents, teachers, coaches, that all influenced on who you are today, the person you are today. So sometimes what you see is that it seems like you find something important. But if you dig a little deeper, you find out that it's actually not something that you find really important, but that, for example, your parents or your spouse find really important. And for this to really work, it's really important that you know for sure that the values are yours and not somebody else's. So look at your 3 core values and then determine, what did your parents think of it? What were things that your parents said about those values? What are their opinions? What are your friends' opinions about it? So by determining what they think of it, it's easier to examine if it's really your value or if it's maybe someone else's. And then obviously if it's someone else's, you need to change it, because what we're looking for is your true core value. So now I really want to hear from you. I hope these videos help and that you really do what I'm asking to do, and then really start to identify yourself and start with the mission statement and now going into your values. If you do, then let me know. What is one core value that you find out by doing this exercise? I also did the exercise, and if you, in the description, you find a link to my website, and if you go to the website, then you can find my one core value that I would never betray, and I would always live according to that one core value. Okay, so that was the video for today. I'll be back next week. Please shoot me an email or let me know what you think and what you're working on, and I'll see you next week. Saludos!